All right. Welcome to Talking Investing. We're a little bit late. I had some technical difficulties. You guys should be able to see me and George and the screen. So drop me a comment if you can't see all that. Hopefully it's correct.
Uh-oh. Dump CleanSpark and buy Marathon.
Who's saying that?
Chris.
Oh, Chris. Well, we know Chris likes Marathon.
Dude, I am so disappointed in Marathon.
You're disappointed? Did you?
It just never gets the run.
Marathon, I mean, we'll take a look at their chart. All of a sudden people are telling me I'm a Marathon lover, but,
You're a Marathon lover.
I went from a hater to a lover, but, I mean, I think they're having a good year so far. 2023 is going much better than 2022 did for Marathon, in my opinion. All right, I'm just trying to read any comments here and catch myself up. Another basically sideways day. We were down from yesterday all day, but a little bit sideways.
Woof.
All right.
I'm with you, FV.
FV702, thank you so much for the super chat. Wolf. Yeah, I feel like a bunch of people are in Wolf on our channel here, whether it be subscribers or members. So, all right. I think that was the thing for FV702. Wolf. Yeah, Wolf's still doing its thing. Up 6% today. Wolf. So some of these guys had a good day today. It really depended who you were in. Wolf was up 6%. Iris Energy was up 7%. Both of them reported their March operational update today. So I don't know if people liked those and if that was part of the reason, or it was mostly a green day, unless you happen to own CleanSpark. Sorry, George.
Oh, no, you're fine.
All right.
I think they're doing to it on purpose, by the way, so.
They're tampering.
Yeah.
Would you say that they're messing with it? Thank you, Methodical.
I wouldn't say they're messing with it. I would say another word. They're.
What's Methodical say? Woo.
Woo.
That is Methodical's first super chat. Thank you. Much appreciated. Hopefully you made some money this week.
Well, if he doesn't have CleanSpark.
Yeah, if you got anything except CleanSpark, you probably did all right. No, it was a hit or miss week. It was a very sideways week.
Oh, it's over with, isn't it?
In the United States, their markets are closed tomorrow. So, let us know if you're from places around the rest of the world and if you guys are going to be open and trading tomorrow. I'm really interested to know if Canada is going to be open and trading tomorrow, because obviously Bitfarms, HUT, Hive, DigiHost, I think, those all trade on the TX as well. So if Canada's open, we'll get a glimpse tomorrow. But if they're closed as well, then.
So does that mean Bitcoin's making it run now?
Well, guess now it's got 3 days where we can't do anything about it unless you make the straight play on Bitcoin or leverage, which I am personally against leveraging Bitcoin itself, as it is a dangerous game. Not financial advice. If you guys know what you're doing, do whatever you do. Harrison said they're just diluting. I think that is probably in response to CleanSpark. So they are diluting, but I would ask everybody this question, and I kind of did it in my video. Oh, Chris Dominator saying Canada is open. Oh, are you saying is Canada open or that it is open? JJT, hello. Austin, hello. Organic Auto, hello. Robert, hello. Edmund, hello. Steven, hello. Barry, Nathan, His Honor. I'm just catching up.
His Honor.
Austin, Organic Auto, I think I said. Steve Eckford, hello. Who's this? Can you do any better? Hello. That's George. Did I miss anybody? New user. New user, hello. So hello to everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, I did have a little bit of technical difficulties, so I was a few minutes late. George was ready and waiting, though.
Actually, I wasn't.
You blew. I was covering for you, but I know you weren't.
No, I went on and I said, oh yeah, it's today, isn't it?
But nobody needed to know that. And,
oh, they know.
well, they know now because you just told them. Anyway, we're all here now. We're all here together, and that's what's important. Edmund is saying Canada is closed tomorrow. Okay, so no sneak preview tomorrow. Canada is closed as well. Ray, hello. How are you? Ryan. Give Ryan his normal shout out. Iris, Cypher, Cleanspark, rocket ship to the moon.
So here's my question. You ready?
Fire away.
Bitcoin, up or down?
Is it time for a poll? Is it time
Dude,
for
this has been, I mean, it's just crazy that it just sits there. It doesn't do anything.
I think we might need to add sideways to our poll. Let me go to the 1 day time frame for a second just to take a look, because we are very. So I got a dotted line at 27,000. I have another blue dotted line at 28,000. I mean, you will see this is back to March 17th. So, you know, we've been sideways now since March 17th. However, I am encouraged by that, and that's personally. So, you know, there's nothing for sure, but I think this bodes well. I think we're doing some consolidation. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know in November and December we went sideways for 7 weeks. So I hope that it doesn't do that, but I still feel I'm sticking to my original pick. I still think that this is consolidation and the next move is up. My only caveat would be I would not be surprised to go down and test this purple line at 25,200 one time in the middle before we make a break. But I don't even think we're going to do that. But that's possible. But to me, I think the next move, in general, the next move is up, even if we have to go bounce off of this line. That is my opinion. We should do a poll and see what everybody else's opinion. But first, if you could do us a favor and smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the stream out big time.
Is anybody worried about the Texas? What was the bill number?
1751. I will definitely be talking about that. I read the whole thing, and not that it's long, it's pretty short, and they're talking about it on our members only Discord quite a bit. So we'll definitely go through that. There's some key missing pieces of information, and so it makes it very difficult to put that bill in context. To me, I'll just tell you right now, like in general, I think the bill's ridiculous. So that's where I start, but I will dig deeper than that. And I don't know that it's a done deal. So that's the other thing to remember.
I said, I'm reading what Methodical just wrote.
Which one?
Well, he just wrote, spent my last whole paycheck on Wolf. It just, you know, I understand.
I mean, Wolf solid March update. Wolf sold Bitcoin at 24,990. That's a high price among miners I've seen, plus lowest power cost. This is Edmund talking right now. Methodical, Wolf looking amazing. So His Honor is asking the question, since the U.S. markets are closed tomorrow, will there be a live stream tomorrow?
And don't we usually have the best live streams when things are closed?
I mean, we've done live streams on days that are closed in the past. Let's set a goal. What goal can we hit on the stream today to do a live stream tomorrow?
I don't know. What do you think the goal should be?
I don't know. Let me think about that for a minute, and then we'll get back to that. We got 32 likes. My first goal is 100 likes always. So if you could please smash the like button, it helps spread the live stream when we're actually streaming. So, you know, the more the merrier. So much appreciated. It's free to you, and you can always unsmash the like button later. If that is false, somebody can someday correct me. I believe that that's true. That's what I choose to believe. I'm pretty sure it is true. Methodical saying, sounds like Riot should be worried. See, I'm reading through the bill. I'm not sure it's time for, I don't know that anybody needs to worry. It's not a good bill. I don't like what they're doing, but it's not like they're driving everybody out of the state. So, and there's a scenario which I will explain where this bill might actually do absolutely nothing, and they don't give us the math to do the calculation to know. So I don't know. I'm going to present a scenario where this bill has absolutely no effect whatsoever. I'll present another scenario where, in my opinion, it's an absolute disaster for the residents of Texas. So it's probably somewhere in the middle of those two scenarios, but depending on the math, this thing either doesn't matter or it's going to crush people's energy bill in Texas. I don't know why they would do this. There's no fourth option where it's good for people in Texas. That's the part that confuses me. Like, it's either neutral or bad. So I'm not quite sure what they're going for here. That's my take on this. You guys can let me know in the comments.
I just think it's the fact that they get to make money. So like, what? You're making money at this?
Well,
that's never good.
I mean, that's just spite, but you're spiting your own citizens.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
it's really
that could
true.
Be political motivation.
Yeah, I mean, it's really true that that's kind of how business is, isn't it, nowadays?
I hate to think that way, but it's possible.
So I renovated a house that I'm going to be living in, and when the freaking person came from the city, they're like, "Oh my God, look at this! Look at what you did! Oh my God, we don't have any of this." And I was just like, "Oh my!" I could just see them just like raising the taxes way up, even though I did all the work mostly myself. If it's wrong, I probably did it. If it's right, Pete did it. Pete's the guy who worked before me. I'm thinking about changing the name of my construction company to Roughly Right Construction.
Roughly Right.
Roughly Right.
It's right there in the name, so don't complain.
Sorry.
Robert saying, yes, starting to worry about more states banning Bitcoin mining, weird bills, and tons of FUD, sketchy times. I mean, I'm not going to worry about it yet. It's certainly on my radar. I spent some time today researching it, and thank you to whoever it was in our, I think it was either on our private live stream or in the members only Discord. Somebody put this on my radar. I really didn't know about it until a couple of days ago, so I just went through it in detail, and again, I'll talk more about it later, but to me, it doesn't make any sense. I don't think it's going to be that harmful. It certainly isn't going to stop any of the Bitcoin miners from doing what they're doing in Texas.
Is Alex on? Because he works for State Farm.
I have not seen Alex in the comments far yet today.
No, because I was just thinking about it. He works at State Farm, and I was going to see what his opinion is of what's getting ready to go on with State Farm. Or if I'm sure he knows, because I think he's in upper management.
Well, if we see Alex's
How about
name
calling
pop
your
up,
company
now he's going to hide.
Right. That's even better. Yeah, thanks for calling. Not quite right. How may I help you?
Not quite
Not,
right.
not quite right.
Barry is saying, as someone mostly in Canadian miners, I support 1751. So that's the thing. There are some miners that are not affected by this at all, right? Bitfarms does nothing in Texas. Hive, I don't think Hive does anything in Texas. No, they don't do anything in Texas. Now, Hut, I think, the company they're proposing to merge with, I think they are possibly in Texas, among other places. So it may affect Hut, but it does not affect Bitfarms, and it doesn't affect Hive. But it massively, just from the standpoint of, Riot, Marathon are the two largest miners by market cap by far. The majority of their operations are in Texas, and Cypher's the third largest by market cap, and the majority of their operations are in Texas. So that's the top three miners by market cap.
Look at this. Every single miner was green except my Cleanspark.
Let's see.
Are they just dumping it on me?
I don't know why that was down today. Everybody, it's the word on the street. There's a lot of downward pressure on Cleanspark. I don't think I finished my thought from like 15 minutes ago, which was, I know that they are diluting, but if you do the math, dilution of 1 or 2% should not mean that they lag by 20 or 30 or 50% behind their peers, or in many cases more. There's if we look at the year-to-date stuff, like Cleanspark's up like 30%, there's companies up 300%, Bitcoin mining companies. So that's a 10x versus what Cleanspark has done. So to me, the dilution does not account for the difference in that at all. It's in my opinion, it's just a mathematical overreaction. Also, I always buy on dilution for companies that I like and management that I like, because Cleanspark's the perfect example. What they're using their stock for is extremely accretive to their company, and they are growing in leaps and bounds. So everybody discounts that money. You actually get money when you sell stock. So everybody forgets about that side of it. So if they got $10 million, theoretically, if they use it wisely, then they're a $10 million better company. So now, if you don't like the company, and there's plenty of companies that dilute and waste and, give bonuses to, the board and the executive suite. And so I understand there's good dilution and bad dilution, but to me, I like Cleansparks. I bought more of that this week.
Wow, it's just amazing that it's all about money. I'm reading about the thing with U.S. Bitcoin Corp, the one that's going to be
merging potentially with Hut.
Yeah. It's all about money, and I'm just reading about how they're in Niagara Falls, and it looks like they reached a deal to use the energy, and people don't understand that's like the cheapest energy you can get. I mean, it's just water rushing over, right? Niagara Falls. I mean, it's just water. I mean, it's just pure, right?
Hydropower is very cost effective, and that's why that's why I like, I'm in Bitfarms. Their hydropower did not go through the same price fluctuations as most of the rest of energy did over the last couple of years.
They have to pay $50,000 for some type of to do some type of agreement, and then they have to reimburse the city $180,000 for attorney fees and costs for its enforcement action against the company.
This is U.S. Bitcoin in the United States Niagara Falls.
And then they can't have more than 65 decibels of sound. It's all about money.
65 decibels is not as much as you think.
But it looks like they'll be up and running within the next 30 days.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't be able to play the drums.
Really? That's more?
a rock concert's, I think, 115 decibels. And if you're sitting at a drum set, it's more than that.
Yeah, but it's
for the
probably
person
out.
sitting there.
It's probably outside though. You know what I mean? It's probably not in the building. It's probably like next to it or
certain
something
distance
like
away. Yeah.
that. Yeah, it has to be. And you got to see the crappy freaking place that they have. I mean, it's just an old rundown, coal mining plant or something like that. It used to.
But
it looks like, I don't know.
But they're not using coal.
No, but that's what it was at one point in time. It's just an old energy facility. How about that? I don't know if it was coal or
Of
not.
some sort or another.
Right.
That's what. If you look at the pictures of the stuff, this is what kills me about the Texas bill. Look at the pictures of the facilities in Texas. They are in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
They're bothering nobody. They're providing a massive amount of jobs. They're also supporting the grid. And this bill, essentially, this is a bill to limit the amount they're allowed to support the grid in Texas. So that's what the bill is. So it makes no sense to me. I don't understand that line of reasoning.
Bitcoin noise invasion.
Edmund's saying Wolf has nothing in Texas, so they're clear. That's right. Wolf has nothing in Texas. CleanSpark, I think, has big plans in Texas, but all of their existing stuff is not in Texas. So I think they may have already put all that Texas stuff on hold, and that's what brought them down to their 16 exahash price target this year. I'll have to double check and look at that. But most of their stuff right now is in Georgia.
Barry, you may want to have that checked out.
51 likes. Thank you, everybody. Can you please smash the like button while we are live? It helps the live stream. We're trying to beat the algorithm. I think they're keeping us down. You know why they're keeping us down, George? It's so simple. It's because we're not pumping. I won't say that. We don't. We just talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. And I feel like they're suppressing that in the algorithm. And that is why at a certain point, almost seemingly the exact same point, our live streams, they stop feeding it to anybody. So we want to push through that point. Can we do it?
I looked it up. George Westinghouse and Tesla. Brent.
That's the answer to a question?
Yes. George Westinghouse and Tesla.
I'll have to figure out what
Brent I don't know. How do you not get frustrated being in this industry, being in this, space?
I think that most people in this space have gone through their fair share of frustration. There's just no way around it. I mean, the last 15, 16 months have been rough, brutal. I mean, we had a couple of good months here in 2023, and I still have, I'm not going to say, I am going to say high hopes. I have high hopes for 2023.
High hopes. He's got.
And that doesn't mean I think we're going to beat the all-time, hit all-time highs or anything like that. I just think we're going to have a good year. I think we're going to finish much higher than we are right now. I think we're going to have a lot of volatility up and down, but in the end, I think we're going to look back at 2023 and say for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, this was a good year.
I hope so.
That's what I believe. That's what I think. So I could be wrong. Oh, you're answering. I finally saw Brent's question.
That was interesting. See, the name George comes with a lot of responsibility.
I'll be right back.
You're going away? I guess Tom left me.
I'm back, everybody.
Was it something I said?
No, I had tech support asking me a question, so I just went on mute for a minute. So hopefully you can hear me now. I'm back.
I can hear you, Tom. We didn't even know you went away.
You didn't even miss me, did you? I knew it.
If you didn't even tell us,
we would have never known.
We would never have known.
I'm going back to the 15-minute Got to keep our eye on this. Waiting for the breakout.
Oh, for Bitcoin?
Yeah. At some point, and I'm going to do a few videos on this. I think we're going to go to higher numbers than people are talking about. So,
I hope so.
That's what I'm seeing, and, you know, I can't see the future, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt, and my guess is as good as anybody's, I suppose, but I spent an awful lot of time looking at this, and I'm feeling bullish on Bitcoin. Andre saying, what's going to happen with Riot? I honestly don't think there's any. The biggest negative consequence to all of this bill, I assume you're talking about the new bill in Texas that has not passed yet, so it's not a done deal. It has to go through the House, and, you know, there's some people doing the best they can to make sure this does not even get on the floor in the House. So we'll see what happens. But I think the negative side would be this would eat into a little bit of Riot's revenue that they get selling energy back to the grid. So I don't really think it affects their ability to mine Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form, but it affects potentially their ability to sell energy back to the grid. And they made, like, you know, $20 or $30 million last year doing that. So that would change their equation. That would change, you know, the way that they have to treat their machines and their uptime and all that stuff. But it doesn't put them behind. It just, you know, just doesn't help.
No phone calls today. You guys have been wrong.
So Edmund is saying proposed Texas crypto bill still has to be passed by the Senate, then the House, and then still could be vetoed by the governor. So that's exactly right. So from what I read, and there was one article that specifically said there's like a 95% chance it passes the Senate, but it still has to pass the House, and then that's right, even if it does pass the House, but it seems to have bipartisan agreement on this. I don't know how everybody's rallying around this thing that basically, in my mind, I'm fairly confident that the results of this bill, if it were to pass, would either have no effect on Texas residents or increase the cost of energy and potentially shut their grid down from time to time. That's my opinion. That's my interpretation of having read that bill.
I think Texas has got some problems.
You think the miners in Texas have problems, or the state?
No,
of Texas
it's
has
what
problems?
happens is once they have a fish they can fry, they keep going after it. Does that make sense?
They're going after it in a weird way. It's a spiteful way that's it's not generating revenue for the state. It's not helping the government, Texas local government in any way. It's not helping the Texas citizens in any way. It's just restricting the amount of money that Bitcoin miners can make in an effort to support the grid. So, in other words, depending on the math, and it all comes down to the math. Depending on the math, this may never even kick in under any circumstance. But if it does kick in, the result would be there'll be certain Bitcoin miners that are not allowed to contribute to the grid when they're in emergency mode and they need the energy, because it caps them off.
You know what's crazy, Tom? I was thinking about this. We own a electrical company, and we don't even like take any advantages of that with like CleanSpark or any of those guys. Because, like, did you see that HUD 8 has had problems with diminished production as a result of electrical
you're
issues?
saying electricians,
Right? I mean,
particularly, you guys are right there with all of CleanSpark's
yeah,
facilities.
I should definitely reach out to those guys. But we're big on putting in solar panels, which is crazy, isn't it?
Installing solar panels.
Yeah.
Investor Gadget said, thanks for your work. You're welcome.
Yeah, Tom. Thank you for your work.
Glad I can help. Hopefully.
And I think the other reason why I like CleanSpark, I was going to say this earlier, it seems like they're the underdogs. It seems like they have done this with not much money. Does that make sense?
They did not get to do what Marathon and Riot, had first mover advantage. They got to raise money, massive amounts of money, both of them the better part of $1 billion, when their stock price was very high. Now, technically, Marathon's is convertible debt, but it's equity as far as I'm concerned. Right? If it's not equity, that means, in my opinion, that means Marathon failed at what they're doing. So, they got to raise that. Let's put it this way. I think the strike point on that convertible debt is something like $73 or $78 a share. So, like, that's raising money at what is very near their peak all-time high price. And Riot, very similarly, they raised, the better part of $1 billion. Riot has no debt, none, zero. And really, you could argue Marathon has no debt because they have paid off all of their line of credits and term loans, and the only thing they have left is these convertible notes, which have no principal due until 2026, and they're 1% interest. So, the two of those companies, that goes to your point, George. Yeah. Conversely, CleanSpark has had to claw and dig and sell their Bitcoin as they go and look for opportunities, and they've been very opportunistic, in my opinion, and they're keeping up. By the way, they're keeping up. Those three are the top three. And I
still think overall they're going to be good. They're going to be healthy.
There have been many months where CleanSpark mined more than Marathon and Riot. Now, I'm not sure how true that's going to be going forward. We'll see, because those guys have kicked it into gear a little bit in 2023, but we'll see. Those are still the top three. I mean,
can tell you,
fourth isn't even close. So.
Tom, Marathon always has a way of letting us down, and I hate to say it that way, but something will happen. Some anomaly will happen. We still have 9 months to go, right? Basically, we got 9 months to go.
That's right. There's a lot of time left in the year.
If they can string together 12 good months, I would be very, very, very impressed. I just don't see it happening.
I'm just going to take it as it comes. Right now, I see them putting a couple of good months together. That's more than they've done in the past. And, there's a long way to go, but I'm encouraged.
I'm telling you, that is going to come back to haunt them, not owning their stuff. Not owning their place where they mine.
Well, yeah, they got a different formula. There's no doubt about it. They are reliant on pieces of the puzzle, and almost every single one of those pieces has failed at one point in the last 18 months, which is why they're so far behind their plan. But they're finally catching up.
Right.
I'm just reading. I'm so far behind in the comments that I don't even know what's going on. Sorry, everybody. Too much came at us.
Too much.
FV702 says, when Coors comes out of bankruptcy, I'm buying a new Lambo. All right, we'll see. I mean, I will say this. It certainly helps them an awful lot. If Bitcoin can have a big rally while they get to sit and hide in Chapter 11, that's their best case scenario. I still don't know what it means, but it's shareholders' best case scenario. It's Core Scientific's best case scenario. So we'll see. Steven saying Mara will get bought out by United Arab Emirates Sovereign Wealth Fund, in my opinion. Yeah, because that would be nice. We haven't, I never even mention it, but they've got this deal in the background that, I don't even count as a part of their business right now, but it is. And I think they're 20% owners in that. So they're the minority owners. It seemed like a weird deal, and maybe it is a precursor to what you're talking about, Stephen English. I don't know. Mocha Cleanspark. Is that a good thing? What is that? A dog, a cat, a ram?
Chris is going to work out. Man, I wish I could go to the gym right now. My wife tried to drag me to the gym. A body like this, Tom, just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
just so you know.
that takes work.
It takes work.
Chris
No, so speaking of core,
go ahead.
is there a chance that their shareholders will be okay?
There's absolutely a chance. I mean, Chapter 11, to me, it's this gigantic roll of the dice.
Pull them up real quick.
Well, you're not going to learn. I will pull them up, but you're not going to really learn anything because until we understand what, until they come out of Chapter 11, we don't know what they are. We don't know what the shareholders are going to get. Right? So right now, their market cap's $121 million. That is very, very low compared to what it used to be, but it's, this thing has, here, let's go, let's do this. I mean, this was down to 4 cents.
It's funny because when they got the 4 cents, I really wanted to buy them. You wouldn't let me.
It would have been a good gamble in retrospect. So, I mean, you can see how far this fell. So first I'm just going to show you, look, I mean, they were $15 stock, but forget that price. That was in November of 2021. That's when Bitcoin was at its all-time high. So even ignoring all of that, if I zoom in, they had a run up. I'm going to go from their low to right now, not even to their high from, last month. Right, they're up 940%.
Wow.
So if you were lucky, and I actually started at the wrong, and it makes a difference. I started at 3 instead of... See, why is it doing that to me?
940, really?
So if I recalculate that, that is 651%. And to the top, it was over 1,000%. But, that's from trading from 4 cents to 52 cents. This was a $15 stock, even at 52 cents. But the question is, we don't know. That leaves about $120 million of market cap. And we don't know, is there going to be that much equity left over when they get out and they've paid everybody that they need to pay and they've reorganized their debt and they get out? It's, the better Bitcoin does, the better the chance is that that happens. So this still could be a huge win coming out of Chapter 11.
Wow.
This could be a Hertz situation.
And really, it probably really helped them. Because, I mean, like they can't turn off the electric and stuff like that, right?
They're under the protection of Chapter 11. I mean, that's literally how it works. So they continue. They mined 1,400 Bitcoin last month in March. So they're still mining by far more Bitcoin than anybody. The problem is they have to use all of that. They have to put that into the bankruptcy and pay their creditors. So, they're not hodling, they're not increasing their stack, but they are getting healthier as a company. Because
right.
if not for that, they would have been shut down by now, right? If they didn't have Chapter 11 to go into, to defer, essentially put on hold all of their, they had an awful lot of debt. They had the better part of $1 billion of debt. So that debt service, they'd be out of business by now. So instead, they continue to get to run all their machines. They mine 1,400 Bitcoin a month. All of a sudden, Bitcoin's at $28,000. All the math is different than it was for these guys 6 months ago, right? 6 months ago was their worst nightmare, and things are getting better.
So do you know what Bitcoin would need to be that they could get out of trouble?
I don't know the answer and nobody knows the answer because it depends on what deal they strike with their debtors. They have, I think, maybe 7 different major debtors, 7 different major companies that they owe money to that, all have to come to an agreement on how they're going to renegotiate those terms. Are they going to take haircuts on that money? Are they just going to defer principal on that money? So until we know the deal,
Wow.
we just,
FV said they mined that much. They mined 1415 last month.
yeah, this is what I'm saying. They get to sit there and mine and mine. And remember, the average Bitcoin price last month was, well, let's put it this way. The last few weeks it hung out around $28,000. So, I mean, it started down here, but I think about $24,500 was the average price of Bitcoin throughout the month if you took a daily average. So, if they sold it every day, they made big money. That's a lot of cash that they generated to, get them back towards zero. They got to get to zero. They were way under zero. So, until they get to zero, there's nothing for shareholders.
So, but there's a chance that they could come out of this with no bankruptcy and no debt?
Well, it won't be no debt, but it could be restructured debt that works for them and that they become a cash flow positive company and they have equity left over and they can build and go forward. So I got to take a time out. Jay Shim, hope I pronounced that right. Member for 4 months. Hi, Tom. Back after several months absence. Welcome back. Were you out and about or just taking a mental break from
mental break probably.
Hey, I don't blame anybody who took some time off from all this. It's been a grind. But welcome back.
It's just amazing that there's a chance that this, court could just come out and not really have any debt. Of really, I'm sure they'll have some, but
they
nothing.
had $1 billion in debt.
Yeah.
They're going to have some debt when they come out of this. But, to FV702 just said every month they get to put $25 million in the bankruptcy fund. I mean, that helps, especially if Bitcoin continues to get healthy. That 25 could turn into 35 million or 50 million and what they really need to get to is the point where they're able to cash flow all their expenses, so their direct expenses, their overhead, and their interest on their debt and their debt service, which is the principal payments that's due on their debt. That's how they got to get to that point to come out of Chapter 11. When they can do that, they can come out and give it a shot. And, at Bitcoin 50,000, and I'm just guessing, but my guess is that formula works very well for them at Bitcoin 50,000. It may work very well not very well, but it may work just fine at 28,000 for all I know.
Next question. What is interest on $1 billion a month?
Well, it depends on what they structure. They had some high-bearing interest stuff as well. Remember, none of the Bitcoin miners got favorable terms on their debt. And most of them got this debt in the 6-month period, plus or minus 3 months of when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. And basically everybody, and I'm one of them, everybody assumed Plan B was a genius and he was from the future and Bitcoin was going to 140,000 in December of 2021. So congratulations to those of you who didn't buy into that narrative. Now, I didn't necessarily think it was going to 140,000, but I was extremely bullish and it looked like Bitcoin was going to keep running. And that was the conversation. So now looking back at a lot of the technicals, it was screaming the opposite. So, shame on me. But shame on me, shame on those banks, because they were doing the same thing I was doing and you were doing and Plan B was doing, right? They were lending out money, assuming Bitcoin was, going to the moon.
It is going to the moon.
Jay said, thanks. Last time I was on your chat, Bitcoin was at 17K, and here we are at 28K. Not bad. Not bad at all.
No.
Yeah, that's been a nice run after more than a year of pain. So we'll take it. And I do know a lot of subscribers and members have let me know that they're personally back in the green. So they did enough dollar cost averaging on the way down to be back into the green in total. I'm not back into the green myself, but there have been several members that have said that.
I'm not in the green.
You're not in the green, but you're working on it. If everybody could smash the like button, let's see where we're at. We're at 68 likes. Let's try to get to 100 if possible. I appreciate it. It helps the live stream.
So we should vote if we should do the stream tomorrow. That was what I was thinking.
You want to do a vote on the stream?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. We could also vote on which EV company's going out of business first.
Hard to pick which one's first. That's a tough one.
Geez, I don't know how you all would be in the green from 68K Bitcoin and the miners are still down 99%. Tom, you want to take that one?
Well, they're not down 99%. There's a Bitcoin's down, I think, 58% right now. But if you if you just do the math, and you can do it yourself by backtracking, if you dollar cost averaged every single day, if you started when Bitcoin hit 69,000 and you just dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin every single day from that day to this day, you would be in the green.
Really?
Yes. Now, you wouldn't be rich, but you'd be plus. And the Bitcoin miners, some of them are still down drastically, but some of them have pulled back, right? I mean, we just looked at one that's up 600% from the low. So, that's how people get back. Yes, every single one of these Bitcoin miners at the bottom was down anywhere from 91% to 99%. But some of these have recovered significantly from that. Now, they're still down 70% or 80% or 85%. Some of them are still down 90%. So, yeah, if you were much heavier into the Bitcoin miners, it was harder to get back. But I know some of the members were in the Bitcoin miners, and they just did enough dollar cost averaging. I mean, remember, let's put it this way. Bitfarms got down to 37 cents. If you backed up the truck at 37 cents, you're in good shape right now.
And you believe that February was the bottom and we're not going back down there?
I do.
I pray you're right.
All right, I'm just going to do a yes/no. Who wants a live stream tomorrow? And the market is closed. I'm just reminding everybody. So
right.
Let's see what the people want.
What do the people want?
Because maybe nobody wants a live stream. You don't know.
You never know.
You don't know until you ask.
And then the people that ask, they don't even show up. Dude, I hate to say this, but I hope Alex is okay.
Because he's not here. Well, it is Thursday.
No. He missed the members, too.
Oh, he did.
And I was like, dude, where's Alex?
Well, maybe
I mean, that guy's been, like, legit. There's a few of you guys that, I notice when you're not here. Like, I mean, I won't start naming names.
Let's name names. Come on.
I'm not going to give you names, places. Not going to do that.
Names, dates, addresses.
But anyways, so with your insurance, if you got to renew your insurance anytime soon, do it sooner than later, by the way.
Ah, yes. George had a conversation with his insurance person.
State Farm lost around $16 billion last year. It's okay. They had I think they had someplace in the neighborhood of 60 billion to set aside.
So they're fine. Listen,
Yeah, they're fine.
you're never gonna get me to cry over the insurance companies losing money. So sorry. Jay said made a bunch selling Hut, lost the same selling Bitfarms, so net even last year. So I mean, net even in 2022, that would be considered a great year. Brent said, I personally think miners are pricing in some of the halving risk, but there could be lots of other reasons for lagging. Yeah, I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the halving, and I'll tell you, the crypto winter really hurt because I think that initially a lot of people were thinking we were going to avoid a crypto winter, and these companies were going to get to hodl Bitcoin big time for, all of 2022 and come out of 2022 with big stacks and add to them in 2023. But that's not what happened at all. All but 3 companies basically had to sell virtually all their Bitcoin. 4, if you count, Hive has a couple thousand Bitcoin left. But other than that, it's really just Hut 8, Riot, and Marathon that have, a significant amount of Bitcoin, 7,000 or more Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Then it drops off down to 2,000.
If CleanSpark gets to their 16 exahash, and they raise, I'm probably gonna have to raise what, 100 million.
We looked in their investor package, and all together this year, I think they needed like $250 million of capex. I don't know how much of that they've already spent. I don't know how much of that they can fund through operations, but they need a lot of money to get to 16.
So they had 100, well, you can go backwards. Didn't they mine 196 or something like that?
They mined 598 Bitcoin in the month of March.
When we're safe, 28,000, just roughly. So that's, but that CapEx doesn't include electric.
No, that's they got to pay their direct costs. They got to pay they got to pay for their entire operations, and then whatever is left over, they can put towards CapEx, and the rest of it they're going to have to do through equity. They're not going to take debt. I mean, unless something dramatic happens.
Wow. That's, I don't know if they can do it, Tom. That's aggressive by looking at the numbers.
Their stock has to move. They need their stock to be $6 or $8. Their stock is being suppressed, and I think a big part of that is a lot of their competition is trying to restrict their ability to grow at the pace that they want to grow. Now, so far, they've been unstoppable. We know they're going to get to 9 exahash. They've already bought the machines to do that. The question is, how close are they going to get from 9? How close are they going to get to 16? Personally, I don't care if they get to 16. If they get to 11 or 12 or 13, I think they're going to be one of the strong players. I would rather see them do that than do massive dilution at $2.50. Now, if their stock gets back up to $5 or $6 or $7, I'm going to be much, I'll be much more for dilution at that level. And that's why I think it's not there right now. That is one of the big reasons that is being suppressed. So I think, we'll see. Time is going to tell. I think it'll get there. I mean, you can't keep having great operational updates. At some point, stocks tend to cross path with their fair value.
We're talking about CleanSpark right now. And can they get there with their 250 and their price has to go up? But so here's going to be my question, Tom. I'm kind of trying to figure this one out.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're, I know they hold 196, I think, Bitcoin right now. Something like that.
Yeah, 196, which is immaterial. They sell the vast majority of their Bitcoin.
Is it more important to get to the 16 exahash, or is it more important to hodl any of these coins?
I don't think they should be worried about hodling the coins. That's my opinion. There are a lot of people that would strenuously disagree with that. If they can get this, if they're and they're very efficient with their money. So if they can buy the right machines at the right price, they've already got a lot of the infrastructure they need to get where they're going. So I would support trading Bitcoin for exahash so that they can go forward and be a player in this game, right? Even at 12 exahash, it leaves them in the game as one of the big dogs. At 16 exahash, you know, they're probably going to be they're probably going to pass Riot for a while. Now, Riot has huge plans past that, but right now, all they've committed to is 12.5 exahash. So they expect to be at 12.5 in the third quarter. CleanSpark expects to be at 16 by the end of the fourth quarter, so we'll see where those two go. But anyway, it leaves them in the conversation, so I'm all for that. I do think that, you know, there's different ways to get to the same place. So because they're very efficient with their money, I support them selling Bitcoin in the meantime to get where they're going.
Yeah. So I guess everybody's saying that they need to get 16 exahash for their incentives.
I don't think so. I think their incentives top out at lower numbers than that. I can double check their program. Their stock incentive programs are directly tied to their exahash, but I didn't think they needed to get to 16 for most of them to kick in, but maybe they do.
Be 3x of today's revenue. No, I'm just curious because I mean, I'm really thinking maybe I messed up on that investment again.
You're doubting your CleanSpark investment?
I'm doubting my CleanSpark. I mean, it just seems like it's the same story, different day, and that is, oh, we're going to have to dilute the shares again. And it just gets really aggravating.
You got to decide how you feel about that, but my question would be, do the
Why
math.
wouldn't they just call up if they need a loan for $250? I'm down.
You know, lend them $250 million?
Yes.
I would rather not see any Bitcoin miner borrow any money because we don't know, you know, it's a big gamble. It's a huge risk. It could pay off, but, you know, anybody who did that a year and a half ago, it did not pay off. They all got destroyed. There's a big difference between debt and equity. And every single Bitcoin miner to a miner that borrowed money got crushed in this crypto winter. Now, they didn't all go out of business, but they're all a very small shell of what they were and what they were planning to be. And it's based on the fact that the debt service just ran them over like a truck. So the companies that diluted are a million times ahead of, let's put it this way, there was companies that were bigger than CleanSpark that basically have had to give all their machines back. And now they do no Bitcoin mining. So
yeah,
they did,
I know.
but they didn't do any dilution. So their shareholders were happy. Oh, we didn't dilute. They didn't issue any new shares. That's great, except they...
Are you talking about my Lex?
There's several companies
to me?
in that position. So, right, you got to ask yourself. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but there were the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots are the ones who went the debt route instead of the equity route. Now, you could argue don't do either and don't grow. So that is a third argument, and some people might be for that. Some companies are certainly doing that right now. So CleanSpark is more aggressive than some of their competition. A lot of companies, it's my opinion that a lot of companies in 2023 have shifted to a much more conservative growth plan, and they are going to manage their energy costs and show profitability in 2023. So I'm expecting...
Really?
Yes. I think we're about to see a big, big change. You know, it's not going to be in the December 31st financials, a lot of which we already have. They won't be there yet in the quarter that's already over right now. But in the second quarter, the third quarter, I think you're going to see you're going to see not just positive cash flow, but I think you're going to see earnings from some of these companies.
I did not know that.
And it's a huge difference because, you know, we're in the risk-off environment that we've been in. These negative cash flow, negative earnings companies are like they're toxic. People won't touch them. So
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. It's Thursday. Not happy.
Brent's
Payroll day.
Brent's saying Cypher is not diluting as well, and they have very low costs. So I do agree with that, but I would add one caveat to that. Cypher has a plan to get to 6 exahash, and that's pretty much where it ends. So they went from 0 to 6 very fast, and we had to wait all last year while they were doing zeros, you know, no Bitcoin mining, but they have done a great job getting up and running. They're going to get to 6 exahash, but then they, you know, that's it. So if they want to get past that, you know, so you're going to have Cypher at 6 exahash and potentially Cleanspark at 16 exahash. So obviously depending on the cost, you know, if their costs are half, then that's like mining twice as much Bitcoin from a gross at a certain point. However, if Bitcoin gets very healthy, the healthier Bitcoin gets, the less it matters what the cost per coin is.
Tom, I did not know that. Sorry, I'm stuck there.
Right, if Bitcoin's at $80,000, then the change in your gross profit margin, even if your cost per coin is double, it hardly changes your gross profit margin versus your competition if Bitcoin's at 80,000. If Bitcoin's at 18,000, it could be the difference between having no gross profit or having a 50% gross profit margin. So a lot of this depends on where Bitcoin goes in the future. And I think everybody's trying to be very careful, it would appear to me, in 2023. There were a couple of companies that jumped at 2022 and got ahead of that curve. And everybody this year is, I think, going to focus on energy efficiency and locking down energy. This has turned into an energy thing, right? It started out as who can buy the miners. You know, there was a 18-month wait on miners. You had to pay up front and all that. So, you know, that's where we were 2 years ago. Now we're full circle. Now we're scrapping for the next piece of energy, and you've got everybody complaining about how much energy they're using. So I think they're going to focus on energy efficiency because just because the difficulty level goes up on the Bitcoin network doesn't mean the Bitcoin network has to use more energy if the network is getting more efficient. So I think that's what we're going to see on a going forward basis. That's my opinion. I think that's what a lot of these publicly traded North American Bitcoin miners are looking to do. What the rest of the network does, I'm not sure. The rest of the network's a bit of a mystery to me.
So before I forget, our condolences to the family of Bob Lee. He was the creator of Cash App and was working on a mobile coin. I don't know, and unfortunately he's unalived at this point in time. He, something happened in San Francisco, don't know what, but he was a big Bitcoin person too, by the way. I don't know if you know that too, Tom.
Well, I mean,
he was part of the Lightning Network.
Right.
They were the backbone of the Lightning Network. I don't know if that, was going to mess up anything, but
I don't know.
More people are purchasing, well, I don't know if that's true anymore, but at one point in time, more people were purchasing Bitcoin from Cash App than any other for retail investors, by the way. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I believe it. I think, these are the easiest access to Bitcoin, for the non-cryptocurrency person and for, what's the right word? People of a certain age, like mine or older, are less likely to go dig into the cryptocurrency world and sign up to a crypto exchange and start, trading in cryptocurrency. But what they would do, if they can buy it through their broker or through Cash App or something like that, that there's a lot more access to that by far.
He was 43.
43 years old. Rest in peace.
Right. They said, I'm just trying to see what his net worth was. His net worth was estimated to be around $10 million. Uh-huh. The app reported a gross profit of $295 billion in 2022. Yeah, he was worth more than $10 million.
Yeah, I would certainly say so.
Yeah, I mean, he had to be. And he was making a new coin, which I'm wondering if that's just going to go away, called Mobile Coin. And I don't know if that's just going to go away.
I don't know. We got to look into it.
Yeah, Mobile Coin. He was a CPO. Chief Product Officer, I guess is what that stands for. Here it is.
Edmund said, no one manages energy like Wolf. Brent said, sorry, Tom Cipher has plans to go higher, but they are not committing yet. They could get to about 9 or 10 exahash this year. So I agree with you, Brent. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of the other companies, they're not. CleanSpark's being more aggressive. They're saying we're going to go to 16 exahash. And here's the CapEx we need to do it. And just doing the math, they're going to have to do stock dilution. I don't know if Cipher can. I mean, to get to 9 or 10 exahash from 6, they may have to, do some stock dilution also. And they're not committing to it, and they probably won't do it unless Bitcoin, gets healthier and gets to a price where it's worth doing. So I support that. I like Cipher. And obviously, so does the rest of the market. Cipher's been on fire in 2023.
Don't you just wonder how somebody like that was out walking around in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I definitely would like to know a little more about what exactly was happening there, because I don't know if we have all the pieces to that puzzle yet.
Wonder what ticker this mobile coin is. Wallets, DeFi, trading platforms, and open source projects.
James Ross said, I remember similar comments when Riot was standing still at $1.74. I purchased and held the stock because they were growing. I wish like crazy that I would not have sold at $5. So I remember that same time frame. And yeah, I mean, Riot was stuck in the mud. Marathon was stuck in the mud. Those were in North America. Those were really the only two that were even trading on the NASDAQ. You could, over the counter, you could trade Bitfarms and Hive and Hot 8 and DigiHost. But, Riot jumped out first. They were the first ones to start to run. And I do remember thinking, man, if this is getting a little too hot, even at $4, $5, $6, and but from there, I'm gonna pull up just to put it in perspective. Let's pull up the chart because.
Hang on, that Todd called me out. He said you meant to say he was knocked off. Grow a sack and say it the way it is, George. I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about, Todd. And then somebody said he's gotten Clinton. Hillary got him. Craig said that. I have no idea who that is either. Hillary Smith?
So you can
Hillary Jones? Crime is out of control. I know crime is out of control in that city.
If you look at Riot in April of 2020, it was at $1.37. So if you held from April of 2020, hold on, now I just went back in time. This was March of 2020. It was at 97 cents. So if you held on to that for not even 2 years, right, that's up 2,864%, and that's nowhere near the highs that it got to, I gotta shrink the screen, but so if you were very patient, you were up about 7,500% on Riot in the course of just under 2 years. So this is what can happen. This is what I'm saying. These moves can happen, and they do happen. But you had to be a patient person because this is a lot of sideways activity. You know, these are weekly candles here, so this is a long time. So that was, I can't remember who said that, but that was to your point on CleanSpark. You know, sometimes you got to wait for it. And there's no, while you're waiting, there's no guarantee. So, you know, it's the stock market. There's risk in everything.
Well, I'm looking at this thing from Saudi Arabia. They have a $620 billion wealth fund, and they're crypto-friendly VCs.
That's big bucks.
Yeah, but I don't know if they put any of it into, like, you know, buying stock.
I don't know. I mean, that's an awful lot of money. In the whole crypto universe, market cap isn't, you know, I think it just got to like 1.2 trillion right now. That's the whole universe. Mining is saying network difficulty is the elephant in the room. It's unabated growth even in the crypto winter. So there's no doubt. I mean, this thing grew and grew. It bottomed out after, you know, there was a ban in China and, you know, the network actually went down a bunch. But since then, it has been on a tear and it continues to get to all-time highs. So the network is at an all-time high. It has also doubled in like the last year or year and a half. So, you know, effectively that's a halving that's already happened. And now we're going to have another one. Mining is saying energy will be more important after the halving. So, yeah, because, I mean, the reward gets cut in half. So, you know, you can pretty much is going to be double your cost. So, obviously, it depends on the price of Bitcoin. Again, you know, if Bitcoin is struggling, if Bitcoin is still somewhere in the $30,000 range at the halving, then I'll say what I've said many times. Almost every single one of these Bitcoin miners will be gone by then. Time for a new poll, said Organic Autos.
What was the outcome? Close it and see.
68% said yes, 32% said no.
Nice. Well, I guess that's
pretty high. 2/3, 1/3. We're ending that poll. There's some minor appetite, I would say, for a live stream tomorrow.
I was trying to see how much Bitcoin is mined in Saudi Arabia. I have not been able to find that out.
Tom, you should ask them in the interview if they think all the dilution talk is hurting CleanSpark, all miners diluting, but they do it quietly. Let it run, then dilute. I mean, I know that is aggravating people. I mean, they basically, in their monthly operational update, they led. Like, the second sentence was like, hey, we're gonna dilute. You know, you gotta grow. You're either growing or you're dying. So I get that point. And it's probably a fair point. Keeping it on top of mind for everybody may not be the best strategy. I've been putting off all of my interviews because nobody really watched the interview with Hive. So I've kind of put those on the back burner. So
Prince Mohammed, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman told us social he's no longer interested in pleasing the U.S. The Crown Prince wants something in return for the concessions to give to Washington. That's what he said. That was his thing. But that's how they interpret it.
James Ross said, I'm holding on to CleanSpark with a death grip. I will not make the same mistake. So you got one vote for CleanSpark. I just told you I added to it this week.
Did you really?
Yeah. I mean, look at the chart. they're begging you to buy it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, they're
And I
the
haven't-
lowest. But I mean, if you look at it from TradingView and you look at all the companies, they're the worst.
But you
It
got to
doesn't
look at
mean
time
they're gonna
frame.
I mean, for the big miners, not there's a few other ones, but
So
they're the worst.
take a look at this chart, and this will show you from November 2021, and I'm on the 1 week again. So this was when Bitcoin hit 69,000, hit its all-time high. From that point until now, yeah, they're still down from their high, and that's not their all-time high, but that's their Bitcoin high, in my opinion. They're down almost 90% still. So, and I think, now if we went from their all-time high, they're down even more than that, but they were a different company. They weren't really even a Bitcoin mining company back then. So there's a lot of room to the upside. This stock is lagging behind. In the last 3 months in particular, it's just lagging way, way behind.
I know.
It's up from the bottom right now from its low in December. It's up 39%. So let me find my chart. Oh, this is the 324 chart. Where's 331? Well, this is close enough. So this chart's 2 weeks old, so everything's pretty darn close to this. You can see CleanSpark's down here. We just saw it's now up 39%. It was 32% at this point. But you've got DigiHost up 300%. Core Scientific up 300%. Cypher is now up over 300%. Riot's now up about 180%. And you've got CleanSpark up 39%. So, yes, it is lagging way, way, way behind. And you're right, George. If you look at the other companies down here, these are the smaller companies by far. CleanSpark is the only large, operationally speaking, the only large Bitcoin miner that is getting left behind for now. So the question is, are they going to get left behind forever? Or is there going to be a big catch-up at some point? Don't know the answer. My answer is I'm dollar cost averaging in. And James said, I added as well. I added again yesterday.
I only have so much money. That's my problem.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We all are constricted by that very same thing, George.
I'm stuck. Oh, and then Brent was point out uranium. Still a good play in uranium, and your turn with XRP. I don't even know if I like XRP anymore.
Is George doing a 180 on XRP?
I'm just saying I don't know if I like XRP anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I'm not saying I'm not going to buy more of it.
but you're not going to like it. You're not going to be happy about it.
I'm not going to like it. Dude, if you want CleanSpark to do well, I just need to sell it. As soon as I sell it, the thing will skyrocket. That's how it always goes.
So Edmund said he sold most of his CleanSpark to buy Wolf and Bitfarms, but will buy back starting in May if the price is under $3. So, I mean, I like Wolf, I like Bitfarm, I like CleanSpark. I think
Did you buy any Wolf, Tom?
I did. I only just started buying Wolf in 2023. That's my only new stock in 2023 is Wolf.
Did you buy it when we talked about it, like back in when it was like 70-some cents?
I bought
I have
it.
to be
It was I think
only
it was less than
person
that.
lost money in freaking Wolf. I bought it at 56 cents or something like that. No, 63 cents. It went down. I got all nervous and sold it. I think I sold it at 58 cents.
I remember that day you wanted out, and you know what? Sometimes if it's giving you more of a headache than it's worth,
I'm just no good at this game. I should always tell everybody this. I'm just, not that money means anything anymore, anyways.
The more you look at it, the harder it is. So That would be my advice: is set it and forget it, unless something has changed with one of these companies. If there's a fundamental change in the company you're invested in, to me, that's when it's time to revisit. But I don't think.
Did you hear me?
So what would be your argument? Dilution? Because that's not really a change. That's been their strategy. That's what's got them where they are.
No, but I thought they were done. I thought they were going to wait until it got to $5 or $6 again.
Well, I'm hoping that they're being, very judicious with their dilution rate now here at $2.
Well, I have a question. Can't you tell basically how much money they're going to need, when they're going to pay? Like they're going to oh shit, they're going to have to dilute it again. Because I think it would be stronger right now because I think they diluted this week personally.
Most of the plan to get to 16 exahash doesn't exist yet. It's their intention. They've purchase ordered themselves to 9 exahash. Everything above that is still stuff that they're going to have to put in the works. MinerDoc said all miners dilute and compensate management. Retail traders are too impatient. So I agree with MinerDoc. And James Ross said, MinerDoc, I agree. If you look at them all, and obviously every Bitcoin miner and every company has a different business model. And it's surprising how many, variations of this business model there are inside of the same space. But they are all diluting. And I know there's a couple that you'll say are not diluting at the moment. But publicly traded companies, by their definition, they diluted to become publicly traded. So, and most of them have issued shares since their initial IPO. This is the reason you become a public company. That's one of, it's an extra lever to pull to raise money if you want to expand and grow. Now, you got to do it properly.
I have a question. This is going to be a crazy question, but do you think CleanSpark can get less than $1?
No.
Mark this. Time 5:42:46. I'm wondering.
Anything's possible. It didn't even get less than $1 when Bitcoin crashed down to 15,500 in the FTX situation. So I don't think it's going to go lower than its previous lows. But I'll tell you this, if it does, I'm going to dollar cost average in. Pobrain, who's one of your favorites, George. Unfortunately, Tom, I got out of Bitfarms and strengthened my TerraWolf position. I mean, I like TerraWolf as well, so I think the mistake. So if you're switching from one to the other, the one thing I would be careful of is you're not chasing. If you're jumping in the one that just ran up and getting out of the one that hasn't run up yet, you could forever be one step behind, missing all the run-ups. Now, sometimes if something's got momentum, it's a better play. Jump in while the momentum's happening. So, everybody's got to use their own judgment, but that would be my only concern. And I think the biggest error from my perspective would be to take the money out of the Bitcoin miners altogether, hoping that, maybe you'll come back in someday when they're at a better deal. That's kind of, that's a risk if you are bullish on Bitcoin. Now, if you're not, then you shouldn't be in the Bitcoin miners anyway.
I think I'm becoming not bullish on Bitcoin.
You're losing the faith. Come on, George.
I just still feel that there's going to be one more time that it just crashes.
Well, you've been consistent with that.
I'm gonna keep saying that. My watch would be all old and gray. Bitcoin would be 175,000 to 200,000. It's gonna do it one more time. Hang on, where are my teeth, honey? Where are my teeth?
I think 200,000 is nothing compared to where it's going ultimately.
Having Fed now, do you think that helps Bitcoin? That's the question. Do you know what Fed now is?
I don't. It may help Bitcoin. I don't know that it has any impact on Bitcoin, but it may help.
No, I'm just curious if that seems to be. I do change my mind in real time. I do it after hours though, so I can't sell it. So I guess I could. All I know is that day I said at 3:02, Tom, I'm selling CleanSpark. That was the day. I should have done it that day because it was 3:02 and it hasn't even gotten back there.
No, it hasn't. But I think that it will end up well beyond that. I just put a link in the chat. Anybody who's interested in becoming a member, first of all, thanks to all the members. I see a lot of members on the live stream with us right now, so I appreciate that a lot. And anybody interested, it's $5 a month, and you can just hit the join button on the YouTube page. So I just tried to keep it simple for everybody and just partnered up with YouTube. So, you know, if you're here, you're already on YouTube.
Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right. So we do a members only live stream once a week, every Tuesday after the market closes. We pick the members pick a video or a company for me to do a deep dive on. So I do that. So there's a bunch of members only content, and we have a members only
Sometimes
Discord.
it's coins.
It can be a coin. It can be a stock. It's been mostly stocks, but it can be an altcoin. It's a vote. The members choose which ones to vote on, and then they vote, and whichever wins, that's what I got to do. Some of them have been brutal deep dives. Some of these companies are complicated.
They are complicated. No, I'm just was wondering if you don't think that that's going to do anything, huh?
If anything,
Fed
I
now.
think it may. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, why is it going to have a negative? Why would it have a negative effect?
Why wouldn't it?
That's not an answer. I mean, it is an answer, but I don't accept that answer.
I mean, I just have that feeling that it could be one of those coins. It could just be people get scared. I don't know. I think it actually going to help it go up. Yeah, Paul Prager. Can you please interview him? Did you reach out to him, Tom?
I haven't even reached out to him. I will tell you after I'm going to circle back around and I will do my interviews. But after, like, the world was not interested in the last interview that I did. So I felt like, you know, I hate doing, and they're so hard to coordinate and schedule. And then if nobody watches them, it's like, it actually hurts the channel because then it's a video that failed, which knocks all the rest of the videos down in the YouTube algorithm. So I know that sounds silly, but
Bitcoin Magazine, you know, the conference in May. I think what we should do is, since they want us to volunteer our time and they make all the money, I think what we should do is volunteer our time as a table out in front of the Bitcoin conference. And we're saying volunteers. And I wonder how long it'll take for somebody to find out.
I think they'll figure that one out. Well, hopefully we should catch up with a bunch of people at the conference. I mean, you know, that's an easier way to interview somebody, is to be able to just sit down with them in person when everyone's in the same place at the same time. So I'm hoping to do that, but we should probably reach out in advance.
We should get somebody to pass out, like, flyers. Tom, visit Tom at Talking Investing. And don't listen to anything George says, especially XRP.
Brent said, that's good information, Robert. I would feel better if CleanSpark would underpromise more than they do. I look at the numbers and wonder where they will get that kind of CapEx without mining shares. So, I mean, I'll tell you guys, and if you look back, I said it in the CleanSpark videos at the time. I don't know how they expect to get to 16 exahash, and I don't care if they do get to 16 exahash. I would have no problem if they end up at 11 or 12 or whatever the case may be. But what I will say is they have grown organically faster than any other Bitcoin mining company, and they grew massively during the crypto winter when a lot of other companies shrank. They were growing, so they seem to have a high level of confidence, and they have not ever fallen short of what they said they were going to do. So that's the other thing you worry about. You know, if somebody's always over-promising, means that they don't deliver. These guys have made big promises, but they've delivered on all of them. So having said that, if I was on the board, I would not vote to go to 16 exahash. I would vote to go, you know, keep a close eye on Bitcoin and go, you know, where we can afford to go. And I think that would probably be better for the stock. So, but it's not my call.
Do they have an investor relation person? It's funny how like Hive, don't they have, like, they have very good investor relations people. And it's like, it's just weird to me. Who was the person we met at the Bitcoin conference? Was he the investor relation dude at CleanSpark?
Well, we talked to Isaac.
He's the investor
Matt
relations,
was there,
right?
and Zach was there, and you know we didn't interview them there, but they were all right. You know, we talked to them.
They wanted to, but they just so hard. It was just so hard.
That place is a madhouse, but
Yeah.
I do think we can coordinate with everybody, and you know they had a big presence at last year's event, so they were all there. But I think all the Bitcoin miners were at the event, and they'll all be there again. I liked the Hive guy. This is methodical. I like the Hive guy, but none has got Paul Prager yet. This would be your biggest video.
Do you think it would?
Here's why I'm worried. I'm gonna.
That's almost a bet. That's almost a whatchamacallit. This almost sounds like a poll.
I will reach out to Paul and see if he's interested in coming on the channel. And so I don't know the answer to that. I don't know why he wouldn't be, but I'll reach out. But here's the thing. I did something this week as a test. Cypher put out their monthly update. So this is my 4th Cypher video. It's the first time I ever called it a Cypher video. And the views are down about 75%. Versus my other 3, which I just called a Bitcoin miner, this Bitcoin miner, blah, blah, blah. So when I actually said, hey, this is a video about Cypher, nobody cared. Views fell off a cliff. And that's what I'm worried about. If I do TerraWolf, it'll do half of what Cypher did. I'll do an interview with Paul Prager. I hate to get him on, do an interview, and get 400 views. You know, when they're looking at the channel going, well, your other videos get 3,000 views. What happened? Does that make any sense? Does anybody care?
Does anybody understand the way YouTube pays?
YouTube is brutal.
Anyway,
They're brutal. They're absolutely brutal. But having said that, it's certainly a worthy video to make.
what was your best video, Tom, and what was the title of it?
You know, the strangest thing is there's 7 or 8 videos that have done significantly better than the rest, but my best video of all time was actually on a company that I'm not that big on at this point, and the video was early on, a company called Solo, and it's an EV company that I did a few videos on, and for some reason, one of them just caught on and ran to like 25,000 views.
Oh, really?
And that's the most views. I mean, we're in the 2,000, 3,000. A great video gets 5 or 6 or 7,000 views. So, and I will tell you, in general, marathon videos and Riot videos get the most views. There have been times where CleanSpark was very popular. There have been times when Bitfarm was very popular. But all the way through, it seems to be the marathon videos and the Riot videos that people are most interested in.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, those are the big ones. Those are the most popular ones. Those are the ones that people are most familiar with. I mean, maybe I'll do an interview with. Well, I don't know if they would want to do a members only interview, so I probably need to offer it to the world. It's not worth Paul's time to come on and have me do a members only interview.
Well, I think it's all about investors and investor relations, as you know what I mean.
Yeah, and we'll see if he's their guy and he's willing to talk.
I have a question. I hope you guys don't mind all these questions. How did that one do with what was her name? The girl. I won't say the word I wanted to say. We're talking about the merger between HUD 8.
Oh. The HUD 8. Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Actually, HUD 8 for about a year, all the HUD 8 videos did fantastic. Sue apparently drives a lot of traffic, so every one of her videos has been well above average. Having said that, I feel like we need more information from HUD 8 before I talk to them again. Otherwise, there's nothing to talk about. So
well, how did the video do?
The video did very well.
Okay.
And hopefully they'll put some meaningful information out sooner than later and we can talk to him again. But in the meantime, I'm not just going to talk to him. I'll talk to Paul and see. And then we'll see. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm just curious. I bet you Paul would come on. I have a friend that knows him.
Steven said get Saylor or Greg Foss. I am going to reach out. I talked about that actually today. Somebody suggested that on the last stream. I'm going to reach out to Michael Saylor because actually this is what he does now. So, I don't know that he'll come on or not, but there's no reason not to ask.
Why would you put negativity out there like that? What is your problem?
He'll be on the channel. Stay tuned.
Yeah, he'll come on.
I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, he's given up his position as CEO.
He says the exact same thing at every single freaking interview I've ever watched. You know what I mean?
So you don't want a Michael Saylor interview?
Well, he's just going to say the exact same thing. That's all I'm saying is he just says the exact same thing.
We'll grill him. We'll get him on and give him the hard questions, and he'll never come back again. No, I don't think he's scared of any question. I think he's got his mind made up on Bitcoin, and there's no question that scares him.
No, I don't think he cares. I don't think he's scared at all.
No, I know he's not. Edmund said, get Wolf on. I'll watch that on 2,000 computers. Thank you, Edmund. If that makes it worth it. I'd like to talk to Wolf also. Let me just, I gotta add to my notes.
Well, I gotta think he'll come on. PragerU? Who wouldn't? He's PragerU. I don't know if anybody even knows what that is, but I do.
He is not PragerU.
Yeah, it is. It's the same people. How much you want to bet?
I don't want to bet anything because I have not looked to check, but in my opinion, that would just be a coincidence if it was. But if
but money begates money or begots money or whatever it's considered.
Money. So we're gonna try and get that interview and make that happen. It seems like it's clear that people. I know you guys who know what you're doing, you want to see that interview. The question is, does the rest of the world want to see the interview? And I guess we'll find out. I will make it happen with Paul Prager. And we'll reach out to Michael Saylor. I mean, no reason not to reach out to him.
No, he'll do it. I don't see why he wouldn't do it. I mean, you two could geek that one out. Sorry, no offense.
Huh? What? You want YouTube to kick it out?
No, I said you and him can geek that one out.
Oh. Hey, Michael Saylor's worth talking to. I mean, he is about as big a name in our space as you can get.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. How did he make his money?
I mean, I assume MicroStrategy is where he made his money. They have a whole actual business before they ever started this Bitcoin stuff. So that business still exists and functions. They just went out and bought 140,000 Bitcoin on top of that.
Right.
And that is obviously now his passion. Like I said, he's not even the CEO of that business anymore. He's I think still the chairman of the board, and his focus is on Bitcoin. He's a
Right.
Bitcoin ambassador at this point. That's how I think he views himself.
Yeah, I would imagine, definitely. How could he not?
Let's see. Matt is saying, suggestion, can you do a short interview with Prager, even a phone interview, and plug it into one of your regular videos? I mean, I'd like to give him his own video if it, he's the CEO, I believe, of the company, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can try to find creative ways to work it in and see if we can, get the word out there more.
He seems like a pretty decent dude.
I would look forward to talking to him. It's great. I just don't, I feel bad inviting someone on the channel if I feel like their video is going to bomb. But maybe I'm wrong. So maybe I should not consider that. Should I not even be considering that and just get the good people on the channel and let the chips fall where they may?
I think you let the chips fall where they may. I mean, what?
Hello, JD.
I think it's good to see,
Hello,
you know,
Mark
the
Twain.
information later. You know what I mean? Like when you look back.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Brent.
What? Alex! I was worried about you.
Hey!
I was picking on State Farm, by the way.
Hello, Alex. I don't know if you heard George inquiring about you earlier.
I'm like, I was worried about you.
Welcome to the stream, or if you've been here, then hello.
What is going on with State Farm? And when is my rates going up?
So this is a question to Alex. I'm not sure he's authorized to answer this, but that is a question from George to Alex.
That's my question.
Robert Anderson said, Wolf is doing well now, but they were saying a lot in the Peltro days. Yeah, and they just really started doing their thing. That Cypher and Wolf just started doing what they're doing. Methodical. Thank you very much. Super chat, much appreciated. Thank you also for being a member.
I think that could be the first time for a Canadian money, by the way.
Earlier this stream, but it may have also been Methodical that did it. Deposit on Paul Prager interview. All right, that seals the deal, Methodical. We're doing the Paul Prager interview. You just put it over the top.
That's really funny.
His Honor said, yes, Tom, you spend too much time worrying about how popular your interviews will be. So, I mean, that might be true. And the reason I worry about it is we're trying to work the algorithm here, and as stupid as that probably sounds to everybody, it's like a freaking science to do this on YouTube. And you can see, like, the channel is growing and it's great, and we have the best subscribers, we have the best members, we have a highly intelligent, skilled group of people that watch our channel. So I feel like we're honored, and I think that speaks to the channel. So I appreciate everybody that watches. But, trying to keep it going, it's always a fight with YouTube. But I will try to worry less about that, particularly when it comes to interviews. If I can get somebody important on the show, then we should talk to them. I think we all agree on that as of right now. Edmund said, if you need a female, interview Carrie Langlius. I'll have to learn how to pronounce her name prior to that, Chief Strategy Officer. She's a great interview, might attract a nice audience. All right,
Who's
well,
this?
that's a great recommendation.
What's so funny is, you know who else you should? Would anybody? What about Kathy Woods? Would anybody want to see her?
I mean, she's a very high profile, highly. She's a like 'em or love 'em or hate 'em type for most investors. But she's certainly just about as high profile as you can possibly get.
I think that could be Tom's future wife.
I'm not sure about that. Although, nothing wrong with marrying into money. Right?
Nothing wrong with it.
Don't knock it till you try it. Edmund is saying Carrie is at Wolf. So, you know, maybe I can do an interview with each one of them. JD said Kathy Extreme Close-Up Woods. I mean, she's all over the place, and she will be at the Bitcoin conference again for sure. And she's a huge Bitcoin advocate. Natalie Brunell of Bitcoin Magazine. I'm writing all these down, guys, because I like the interviews. I like getting somebody else on the show with us and getting some information and hearing it from the, I won't say the horse's mouth because somebody will be offended by that, but hearing it from the source.
The horse's mouth, huh?
I retracted that. I'm making notes, sorry.
You're fine.
Natalie Brunell, Bitcoin Magazine. Yeah, please feel free to drop in the comments. If there's anybody that you guys would like to see me talk to, I'll reach out to them. I mean, there's absolutely no harm in asking. Shaman said Natalie is very pretty too. Well, that usually helps in the thumbnail. Jack Maulers is actually incredible too. All right, who's Jack? I don't even recognize.
Isn't this funny? It's like all these people we don't know.
Who's Jack? Do I gotta look him up? Tell us who. Methodical. Who's Jack with? Brent wants a. Is that a poll? Natalie or Sue? No, that would be wrong. Pomp. I don't know if Pomp would come on, but.
Who?
Pomp. You know what I like about him is every weekend he does like a 3.5 to 4 minute video, and it's just super simple and straightforward. It's about Bitcoin always, and obviously he does a lot more than that, but Andreas Antonopoulos. Let's see. What happened to the CleanSpark interview? So I kind of put that on hold because and I'm going to go ahead and do it, but I did put it on hold a little bit because the last interview that I just did with the CEO of Hive did not do well just as far as viewing went, and it does. I mean, you can tell just one video like that dings the channel. It's ridiculous, but it's true. So I backed off, but we've decided now we're not going to worry about that. We're just, if there's somebody worth talking to, we're going to talk to him. So I will reconnect with Matt from CleanSpark and try and set that interview back up. His Honor said interview Frank Holmes from Hive. So we've talked to Frank a couple of times, and he's been very. I thought we had a great conversation with him, and he's a talker. This last time I just talked to Aiden from Hive, and Frank was in Europe doing something. I don't know what, but I don't know. Maybe Frank would draw more interest. People seem to be. I did ask, and I did some polls. People seem to be losing interest in Hive. It has lost its. It was one of the leaders. I'm just checking my list to see which names I've written down. Stephen English said, "Who's Jack Mahler? Seriously? You don't know Jack?" I don't know Jack. So that's why none of this is financial advice. Know Jack. You guys gonna make me look it up? We're at 85 likes. Thank you. Somebody just Edmund, Tom, we're at 85 likes. Where are we on the Friday live stream? If yes, what time? So thank you, Edmund, for reminding me. If anybody is willing, please smash the like button. It's free. Oh, Jack Mahler's the founder and CEO of Zap Strike's parent company. So that would be a huge interview. My apologies. I'm so fixated on the miners. Yeah, we saw him talk. Did he actually talk? He was at the conference last year. Pretty sure we saw him speak.
You should probably, reach out to the Bitcoin magazine people. Because they've been adding people for talks, by the way.
Oh, on their side of the universe?
Yeah.
Wesley B said, "Hi Tom, appreciate the content." Thank you, Wesley. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. Terry said, "We need tough questions on the dilution and management compensation. Then it would be a massive interview and it could go viral." I will absolutely ask about both. I mean, there is no doubt those are the two questions everybody wants to know the answer to. Period. So I gotta ask those two questions. I can't make him give me a reasonable answer, but I will.
No, you can't. No.
Ask the question for sure.
You feeling lucky, punk?
Now you guys are just making names up.
Well, hey, I better go so I can do tomorrow.
All right, so are we going to do, is that the final word?
Yeah.
We're going to do a live stream tomorrow 4 o'clock?
Live stream.
Does that work for you?
Come up with ideas for Bitcoin shirts, too, by the way.
For Bitcoin shirts?
Yeah, I'm going to make some.
Okay. All right, so thank you, George. We will see you tomorrow. I guess same time, 4:15 Eastern time.
That seems to work.
Yeah, the market won't be open, but that would be after the market close. So, all right, thanks, George. Much appreciated. I'll see you later.
See you, Smellies.
All right, that's it for George. We'll see him tomorrow. So we will do a live stream tomorrow. Regular time. So it'll be our regular Friday live stream available to everybody. Jack is the one who got El Salvador into Bitcoin. Okay, that's Bitcoin rules. I don't think I'm getting Janet Yellen on. Or Elizabeth Warren. I could reach out to him. I mean, that's the weird thing. There's no reason you can't ask. I mean, obviously Janet Yellen is not coming on the channel. Do you guys want to hear from Janet Yellen? Methodical, see you later. I don't know if you're saying bye to George or if you guys are leaving. Brent, also. So, all right, we got no active poll. We are going to do a live stream tomorrow. Does anybody have any other thoughts, comments, questions? What'd we miss? I had some other stuff I was going to talk about, but I didn't really get to it. That happens every time. Steven said Biden, but he'd probably forget. Yeah, I'm confident we're not going to get Biden on the channel, but Wesley said, when will Sue of Hut 8 be on again? I am waiting. I'm waiting for them to put out some meaningful information, because if she comes on again right now, I feel like we're going to have the identical conversation that we had in the last interview. So I'm hoping and waiting that they're going to put some meaningful information out, and then I would love to have her back on the show at that time. So that's my plan. We'll see how that goes. Edmund, thank you. Much appreciated. All right, so I guess we will wrap it up. Special thanks again to Methodical for a power super chat and for sealing the Paul Prager interview. And thanks to all the members. I see a lot of members that are on the stream today, so thanks so much. I will do, I'm going to do a deeper dive on this Texas law, and I don't know, maybe I should wait. If it doesn't even ever get passed, then I guess it's a waste of time. So, oh, Stephen English, that's right. There's a Bitcoin white paper on every Mac computer. I saw that today. That's funny. I guess it was hidden in the underlying coding. Video on options trading. I still did not do that, so thank you. Yes, Sai, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me make that note as well. All right. Poll, Bitcoin 30K this weekend, yes or no? All right, let's do a quick poll, and then we'll... Yeah, because this is a 3-day weekend. So I feel like we just did this poll, but here we are again. Okay, so I'm going to say, here, I'll put it out. Bitcoin 30K by Monday morning. So it's only Thursday afternoon. Markets closed. So the markets closed between now and then. So by we got from Thursday evening to Monday morning. Is Bitcoin finally going to get to $30,000? Edmund is saying wait on the Texas law, and I think that makes sense because it's not even a law yet. So why do a deep dive on something that may not even end up ever being anything? So I agree, Edmund. Thanks for your input. Michael Anthony's asking what time. If you're asking for the live stream tomorrow, it'll be our normal time, so 4:15 Eastern time. It's funny. The same thing popped into my head. Organic Autos. He said, Steven, yeah, I saw that earlier. Rumors going that Steve Jobs was actually Satoshi Nakamoto. Now there's a conspiracy theory for you. So you can add him to the list of possible. We're never going to know the answer to that question. That would be my best guess. But it's fun to speculate. Michael Anthony said CNBC says on Fast Money that more banks going to fail, and with saying crap like this is going to hurt the market next week. I know I didn't. That was one of the things I was going to talk about. There's still a massive amount of FUD out there around banks and potentially having a lot more banks fail. We will see what happens. I know the Fed's passed out a lot of money already to these banks and kept them going. So I don't know where I land on that. I'm hoping that's behind us, but it is definitely, people won't stop talking about it. That is for sure. Organic Auto said he checked his MacBook today, and sure enough, the Bitcoin white papers are there. That's funny. That's unbelievable that it's taken this long for somebody to figure that out. It's hysterical. Just seeing if there was anything else I had. So on a miscellaneous note, stable coins. So Tether, I saw this chart today, and I've been watching this. And I mean, Tether's at an all-time high market cap. And meanwhile, USDC, right? Let's go. Let's get a fresh update right now. So Tether right now as we speak is at $80 billion market cap, whereas USDC is down to a $32 billion market cap. So it is now more than twice the size of the second largest stable coin. And that surprises me because there was talk about FUD. People have been whispering about, Tether forever. But it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know why everybody's bailing out of USDC. That's down a lot. XRP stands a chance of passing USD. George was non-committal. He almost pulled a flip-flop on XRP, but he would not commit to that, so we don't know. I know he didn't sell his XRP, though. So that could move up to 5. If this trend keeps going in the next couple of weeks, that could flip-flop. And let's see how far down. So BUSD is now down to $7 billion. So that, I think, was at $16 billion like a month ago. And they're not allowed to mint any more of these, and this is kind of going away. Michael Anthony said Beam earnings were okay, but the whole sector getting hurt except FSLR. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I put them in. I know they're solar, but I group them in with the other charging stations, even though they are by no means direct competition. So they can coexist together. In fact, they complement each other. I still have my Beam, and I'm probably gonna. It came down a bunch this week. I'm thinking about adding to my Beam position. It's been a while, and I still have the same level of conviction. They have in my opinion, they have a great product. There's no. That product makes sense to me, and their addressable market is mind-bogglingly huge. So, Beam, for those who don't know, is a very small cap. It's a solar company because it's a solar charged electric vehicle charging station. So I'm going to call it mobile, but essentially they bring it to you. It fits in one parking spot. They set it up. It's like 70 grand, I guess. And, it doesn't hold massive amounts of charge, but you can charge, I think, 8 cars at a time on the thing. And, it's for people who go to work. They can park their car, trickle charge it all day. And I feel like they're doing very well. So I don't know why their stock is so far behind. Malik, good evening. Bitcoin Rule said, I can't stand them. I don't know if he was talking about Beam or somebody else. Oh, maybe CNBC? I know. I rarely, if ever, watch them anymore. There was a time I would like, man, that was I got old. Probably about 15 years ago. I bet I watched that 10 hours a day. It was awful. I was addicted. But I got off. I got off of the addiction. And I'm staying away. I'll still watch highlights and clips on YouTube, but I can't. I just saw a little thing on. So our members this week picked Palantir. So I'm going to do a deep dive video on Palantir. And so, like, the very next day, Jim Cramer came out and said, Palantir's not even a real company. Like, he doesn't even consider it a real company. It's a joke. So, and then somebody in the members-only Discord put I guess there actually is up, live, and active, essentially a reverse Cramer ETF. So, Robert said, t-shirt idea, you are Satoshi Nakamoto, or I am Satoshi Nakamoto. We are all Satoshi Nakamoto. While you're interviewing, everyone can give the finger emojis. Well, that's not right. That does not, unless I'm misinterpreting what you're saying. Stephen English, Robert, with George's face. Oh, yeah, we could put George on there. That's a good idea. Michael Anthony is saying, I think more about on how banks are going to fail, which is going to hurt the markets, and that's all CNBC is talking about. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I know it's a lot of people watch CNBC. And like I said, there was a time where it was like my #1 channel that I watched all day. And there's gonna be FUD about banks. I mean, we just went through some major incidents. I'm not calling it a banking crisis. I'm calling it the banking situation. But it was clearly a situation. We just went through some major stuff. Edmund's pointing out the fact we're at 95 likes. Let's see if we can wrap it up and get to our 100 likes. We got a streak going on. Well, I guess today's not Friday technically, but it's sort of Friday because the market's done. $96. Wesley said, nice. I also hold Palantir. So if Cramer said it's a joke, then probably that's a good thing. The way that's been going for him. But, you know, I mean, the guy's been on TV every day, 5 days a week for 20 years, so he says a lot of stuff, I guess is what I would say. I have not paid attention to him in many, many years, but I know it's a thing out there that I guess he got an awful lot of stuff wrong in a row. But maybe he's just wrong. Maybe he's right. He's just wrong on the timing. I'm checking in on the vote. Anybody, this last chance to vote. Right now we have Bitcoin 30,000 by Monday morning. 56% yes, 44% no. So very split on that. What was the last poll we did? We were split 50-50. I think. And that was the first time that ever happened. But this one's pretty close as well. So get in your final votes if you're interested. My thing shows 97 likes, so if we get 3 more, we got to the finish line. If not, I guess technically the streak will be over. And as you guys can see, well, let's see where we are from yesterday. So from where Bitcoin was when the market closed yesterday, when the U.S. equity markets closed, Bitcoin was at, well, it looks like around, let me get off the number, 28,251. So from there to right now, you know, we're down 1% on the day. And really, the trading day ended, where'd the trading day end? Right here. So we were down 0.85% on the day. But yet, so yesterday we were up a little and all the Bitcoin miners were red. Today we were down a little and most of the Bitcoin miners were green. Now, that corresponds with the fact that yesterday the equity markets were red and today the equity markets were green. So they tend to be following in the short term here with these small moves. They're following along with the NASDAQ more so than with Bitcoin. Obviously, when Bitcoin makes a bigger move, it tends to affect the Bitcoin miners more. Wesley said, Tom, I was watching REE Electric Vehicle. Do you know this company? No, I don't. So I will write that down and look it up. Oh, 99 likes. So, George, Alex, I don't know why. I don't know. I won't speak for George, but I'll let him know that you said that. He went to dinner with his, all right, we got to 100. He went to dinner with his family. Oh, there he is. He's still listening. So, George, if you can read the chat, Alex has responded to you. We got to our 100 likes. I'm going to end our poll. State Farm Arena, said George. So, Alex, George said you were talking about State Farm Arena, and that's where you got that impression at the Super Bowl. Yes is now up 55% to 45%, so I'm going to end the poll on that. So we have, we're going to say yes. Bitcoin 30,000. But having said that, you can see, I'm just going to zoom out. The last thing I'll do here, just zoom out. And why did it do that? Oh, here. So you can see this was a Friday. So we certainly did a poll on this day. Was Bitcoin going to get to 30,000? And then, so that's one. This is another Friday. I'm sure we did a poll. Is Bitcoin going to get to 20,000? That's two polls. This is a third Friday. We did a poll. Is Bitcoin going to get to 30,000? So that's 3 times we've asked this question. We're 0 for 3. Is the 4th time the charm? So this would be the 4th weekend we're testing this line of resistance really here at 28.8. I suspect if we could just break through this line on a 4-hour candle or 1-day candle, we're going to run to 30 or higher. But we just can't seem to break through it. And this will now be the 4th weekend that's our poll. So I guess we'll find out. Well, we'll see what happens. We're going to have a live stream tomorrow, so we can run the poll tomorrow and see if people have changed their mind. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. Thanks for subscribing if you're a subscriber. Thank you for being a member if you're a member. And everybody have a great night. So it won't be long. We'll talk to you guys. We will have a live stream tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Have a good night.